So I'm just gonna play, watching my eyes away, Dr. Play, watching my eyes away, Dr. Play, watching my eyes away.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back on the dot, guys. We are doing something for the summer that's going to be special. I am bringing you guys a Tiki series, and we're going to cover some of the popular recipes for Tiki drinks. And the one that I'm introducing you to today is the Zom-Bee.
The attackers can be stopped by removing the head or destroying the brain. I'll repeat that, by removing the head or destroying the brain. Hey!
And just to let you guys know ahead of time, this is going to be experimental. Now, it's only partial experimental because I made a series of Tiki wines, I would say about 4 years ago. And these wines taste excellent. I mean, I'm not just tooting my own horn. The flavors came out really well, and they was my own version with my own different ingredients, replicating some of the original Tiki drinks. But I figured, why not share the same joy and love with you guys and give you something on the channel to be like, hey man, this dude is really bringing some fire and something new to the wine, mead, and blah 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 scene or whatever. So today we are going over our ingredients, and right here we have a nice honey. I like Nate's honey because it has a nice flavor to it. It's pretty much a wildflower unfiltered honey, and we are going to be using about 2 pounds. And I say about because I'm trying to achieve a ABV of 1.100 or around that, because your Tiki drinks tend to have a high ABV. So we're gonna play around with that and see what we get on our hydrometer to see how much ABV we can potentially get out of this mixture. We are also using lime juice, 17 ounces. And lime juice is used a lot up in the Tiki drinks, just about a good bit of all of them. So we're definitely going to be using a lot of lime juice for this recipe because, well, this is basically what it needs. Right here in front of us, we are using pomegranate juice. This is to substitute the artificial grenadine. A lot of your grenadines is made with corn syrup and artificial flavoring, but real grenadine is pomegranate flavor. So we are using 3 ounces of that. Right here in the back, we have grapefruit juice. which is another ingredient of the Zom-Bee. And we are using 6 ounces of pink grapefruit juice. You can use white, you can use ruby red, but the classic is the regular white grapefruit. So it's up to you what you want to use, but I just want to let you guys know that. Right here in the back, if you guys didn't see the video, this is our falernum syrup that we made on that video. And like I told you guys, I had something special planned for you, and we are using 11 ounces of this. Now guys, it does have alcohol, but that is not no big deal, because with the amount of all these other liquids that we have around here, especially the water right here in the back, that's going to dilute the alcohol up in it. So this alcohol wouldn't be enough to affect the yeast that we will be using up in this recipe. So just wanted to give you guys that heads up. Another ingredient in the Zom-Bee is cinnamon. So I have to sit here and tell you guys about the cinnamon addition. The only reason why I have to say a little bit, and you know I like to ramble, but this is important. You can go about this a few different ways. You want to get some cinnamon flavor up in here, so you can, one, use 2 cinnamon sticks. Oh, sorry, that's my powder. You can use 2 cinnamon sticks. I have one up in here, but I do have more cinnamon sticks. And 1 teaspoon of your cinnamon up in 1 cup of water to boil on the stove and let it simmer for 20 minutes to get you cinnamon infused water to add to this. Or you can add sugar or honey, 1 cup, to that same 1 cup of water in that ratio, and boil it down to make you a simple syrup that you can keep for back sweetening later on. If you want to put the cinnamon up in secondary or right before bottling, you can do that. Now, for my big dogs out there, you can also use cinnamon extract. And this is one of the extracts that I told you guys that I made, the cinnamon extract. This is 2 years old, and it's 4 cinnamon sticks up in 8 ounces of vodka. And this is really strong. So you're gonna want to use probably about 1/4 teaspoon per gallon, but you can add another teaspoon just to see if that sugar, not sugar, that cinnamon flavor is really popping through. But it should just be a hint. You should just get a hint of that cinnamon flavor or whatever up in this drink, because you got to also remember this has spices up in there also. So we're trying to do our best to get all of our ingredients balanced out or whatever. So up in the back, we have our 1 gallon of water. This is to use for top up or whatever. Basically I say whatever, but I'm just saying that we're using this for top up because we have all of the liquids that's going to be going in along with the honey. So the water is basically the difference maker or whatever after all these other liquids go in. And for the yeast today, we have 2 choices. I'm still deciding, and as you see the video, you'll figure out what I want to do. I want to use EC 1118 because this can go really dry. And if it goes dry, it's perfect for making the syrup in the end with the honey or the sugar to add that, I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. But to add the back sweetening in if it does go dry. Now, also here, we have the Belgian style Abbey Ale yeast. This is a beer yeast, guys, but yeast don't care what it goes in, so you can use this yeast to make wine. So why this particular yeast? Well, this yeast tends to throw fruity flavors and give you a fruity scent. So if you want your Zom-Bee mead to have that fruity, tropical, exotic kind of scent or smell to it, aroma, whatever you want to say. This would be a good one to use. And we're going to use either 1/4 teaspoon of this or 1/4 teaspoon of that. Might use half to help our mead go. And as always, I have the nutrient. The nutrient is on the side. You can use bread yeast. You can use 1/2 teaspoon of bread yeast up in boiled water, and that can be your yeast nutrient. All right, so we are going with 1.8 ounces, which is 1.5 pounds of honey right now, only because we gotta see how sweet this is going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and add my 17 ounces of lime juice. All right. We are also going to add our 4 ounces of pomegranate juice. And we also are going to add our 6 ounces of grapefruit juice. And you guys got to give me a second to go ahead and pour the falernum, sorry. And I'll be right back. All right, so we are adding our falernum into this. And guys, like I said, if you haven't used extracts or syrups and liqueurs or whatever, homemade preferably, but you can use the store-bought stuff, you guys are really missing out, because the flavor profiles that you can come up with and use when you're trying to back sweeten and stuff like that. And I had a question online that asked me, how could you get more flavor into something? Well, those are some of the ways that you can get more flavors into your brews. So try them out, test them out, or whatever. You'll be real surprised of what you come up with, or whatever, you know, because there's so much stuff out there, and there's so many routes you can take and so many things that you can do. Now, I put the 1.5 pounds of sugar up in this, and the falernum also had sugar in it. If you guys remember, we used the demerara sugar, and the reason why we did that, if some bar people out there didn't catch on, is because I want to say the Puerto Rican rums usually have demerara sugar up in them, some of them, or whatever. But that's also to give you a nice flavor, also mimicking the Zom-Bee. Because remember, we are making this from scratch, so it's not going to have the rums other than when we get to the next step, because this is a 2-part recipe, and I just wanted to give you the first part of the base. So the second part I'll go over later on in the video, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But get this all stirred up well, get your sugar dissolved into the mixture, or should I say your honey. And I just might go ahead and add the other pound of honey. I mean, not the other pound. I'm sorry, guys. The other half pound of honey, and see where our ABV is at once we do that and add the water and top it up to a gallon. But all right, guys, I'll be back. Guys, so we are roughly around, I want to say 1.094, which is fine. But if you guys have any honey left, you can go ahead and add that into here, say about 4 ounces or whatever, and keep checking to see if you reach 1.10, but that 1.094 is fine for what we are doing, so it's all good. Alright guys, so we have our yeast nutrient, and it's half a teaspoon, and I'm going to throw in 1 more teaspoon to help our yeast get started, but I'm going to do that off camera. I'm just going to go ahead and pour our must into the carboy, and look at that pretty pink color. Guys, I tasted this already, and you gotta remember, this don't even have the cinnamon or the rum flavor yet, but I'm gonna cover that on the second part in this video, not another video. I just want to let y'all know that ahead of time. I'm just getting this poured into the carboy, and I'll be right back to show you guys what I'm talking about. But oh my god, that color is beautiful. And also the flavor of this, once again, is good, guys. I mean, just as a fruit punch, you can drink this and, like, man, it's good. I don't know what else to say. So I already know the wine is going to come out pretty well.